sessions. Then we have motions, municipal parliament, and committees in parliament. So there are a lot of things to cover in parliament. So hello everybody, we shall be starting with the rest part of parliament that we had already started. So in parliament we shall proceed with the sessions. Let me examine that we had completed composition, membership also. Membership of parliament we had completed. And had we covered the presiding officers. In this part we shall be covering the rest part of parliament. We shall start with the sessions in parliament. Sorry. So we shall start with sessions in parliament. What is sessions? What is the meaning of sessions in parliament? Sessions is periodical meeting of parliament. Parliament is not a regular body. It does not meet every day. So therefore there is sessions in parliament, so that parliament will meet periodically to carry on its duties of law making and changing and other things. Sessions of parliament. So sessions we can define are periodical meetings of parliament, or you can say of legislature, of union legislature. Every legislature has its sessions to carry on its functions. Parliament does not meet regularly. It is not a, we can say, it does not meet regularly. Obviously, because I think that in a representative democracy, the popular representative have their duties towards the people, and they have other responsibilities also. So regularly coming to parliament and sitting in the parliament and law making is not enough. The members are also responsible to their people, so they have to take stock of the situation in their constituencies and the government also. Hence, parliament is anywhere in the world. Parliament does not meet regularly; it meets periodically. Article 85 deals with the sessions of parliament. Article 85 says that the president shall, from time to time, summon, we shall discuss summon, each house of parliament to meet at such time and place as he thinks fit, but 6 months shall not intervene between its last meetings in one session and the date appointed for its first meeting for its first sitting in the next session. So the summary of this article is that in 85 clause 1 is that the president shall summon the sessions and he will summon the sessions at any place, any time. Obviously, the place is the premises of parliament, and 6 months shall not be there. Gap of 6 months, more than 6 months, or gap of 6 months shall not be there between two sessions. It is implied that there must be two sessions in a year. According to the Constitution, Article 85, Clause 1 says that there must be two sessions in a year. So that is the crux, the summary of this article. Okay. So here we can conclude that summon of the session, the summoning of the session of sessions is by president on the advice of the council of minister or the prime minister. It is not a discretionary power of the president. Rather, he summons the sessions on the advice of the council of minister headed by the prime minister. So, summon means beginning of a session. The session begins at the summon or the notification of the president. So, summoning session is an executive decision. It is not a parliamentary decision. It is the president who summons only on the advice of the council of ministers headed by the prime minister. Then prorogation. Article 85 clause 2 deals with the prorogation of the sessions in parliament. Prorogation means end of the session. End of a session. So whenever prorogation takes place, there are some effects on the pending matters with the two houses of parliament. When the house is prorogued, means when a session comes to an end, all the pending motions, notices, or say resolutions lapse. So during this session, pending all pending sessions or all pending motions or notices, all pending motions or all the pending business like no motion notices lapse. But pending bills do not lapse. Whatever is there, whatever pending bills are there, they do not lapse. So it is the presiding officers who declares towards the end of the session or when the business of the work of the parliament for that session is complete. The speaker or the chairman of the house declares the house adjourned, signed that. Then the speaker the president within some days, within a few days, issues a notification for prorogations. But president can do so even the house while prorogue the house when even the house is in session. Okay. So there is another term, if you find it, there is another term adjournment. Adjournment is termination of a sitting of a day, or dates. But prorogation terminates sessions. It terminates sessions. Prorogation, if we can distinguish, prorogation terminates a session. It is done by, it is carried on by, declared by the presiding officers. It is done by the president. But it does not affect it does not affect any pending business of the parliament. Any pending business of parliament. I mean pending bills, pending notices does not lapse. Although it does not affect the bill, it does not affect pending bills. It affects notices. It affects notices. All the pending notices come to an end. Notices for introduction of the bill, notices for other causes that may be there. So they all come to an end. Notices of the parliament. But it does not affect bills. Means a bill will continue from one session to another, and the discussion will be carried on from where it was left in the last session. But remember, all the pending notices before the house do lapse in the here. A point to be noted is that in Britain or in the United Kingdom, the Parliament of Britain, all the pending bills lapse in the after the prorogation. So that is the difference also between the rule of procedure of Parliament and the rule of procedure of Parliament of India and that of the British government. So adjournment is a device also which terminates a sitting. There is also adjournment sign there. When the house is adjourned for an indefinite period due to certain unavoidable circumstances, the speaker or the presiding officer of the house may adjourn the house or the sittings of the house for an indefinite period with no time mentioned for its reopening, and that is called adjournment sign day. So it is a similar device with adjournment, but the difference is that here the term is fixed, means it will be declared when the house is going to reopen. But here the not term is timing is not fixed. Timing for what? Timing for reopening is not fixed. You got it? So adjournment and prorogation. Now shall come to another, that is another things that Article 85.2 deals with prorogation. Alright, 85.2. Now dissolution. Dissolution. Dissolution is also a part. So 85.2, Article 85.2 deals with dissolution of the House of the People alone. Rajya Sabha as a permanent chamber is not subject to dissolution. So only Lok Sabha is subject to dissolution, and dissolution means end of the term of Lok Sabha. Okay, so there are two types of dissolution. One is automatic dissolution. Automatic dissolution. So when the term of Lok Sabha is complete, the president declares the dissolution. After the end of its term. And even if it is extended after emergency for 1 year or like that, at the end of that period, that is called automatic dissolution. So automatic dissolution we can say is at the end of this total term of the house, that is 5 years. Or if emergency is, if under emergency the term is extended by 1 year at a time, then at the end of such period, President shall declare dissolution of Lok Sabha. That is automatic dissolution. There is also premature dissolution. I say it. Premature dissolution. Premature dissolution means when the president can dissolve when he is empowered to do so, even after the it is before the term, before the completion of the term of Lok Sabha, when when the ruling party or the government loses its confidence in the house, when the ruling party or the majority party loses its confidence of the house through no confidence motion, the president is entitled to dissolve that. And such dissolution is irrevocable, that cannot be revoked. So there are two types of dissolution. Then there are certain effects of dissolution. When Lok Sabha is dissolved, all pending bills, motions, resolution, notices, petitions pending before it also lapse. They must be reintroduced in the newly constituted Lok Sabha. Okay, but some bills which are found to be examined by Committee on Government Assurances. There is a committee called Committee on Government Assurances. They do not lapse. So we can conclude that the effect of dissolution, the bill passed by Lok Sabha and pending in the Rajya Sabha Do not lapse. Sorry. Giant sitting has been summoned. But not passed by Lok Sabha. Receiving assent. Reconstitution of the parliament. So here the five things are clear that any bill pending with Lok Sabha has any connection with Lok Sabha will not be passed. So when a bill is passed by Lok Sabha but pending in Rajya Sabha in the meanwhile Lok Sabha dissolves, then the bill will also lapse. Because the bill is yet not yet passed. The bill on which joint sitting has been summoned, the bill is passed is not passed by the two houses. And there is a deadlock between them on the particular passage of the particular bill. Then the president may summon joint sitting. So it will not lapse. Okay. When bail pending in Rajya Sabha but not passed by Lok Sabha beforehand, then it does not lapse. A bill pending for the assent of the president does not lapse. A bill returned by president means used suspensive veto does not lapse. As I told you, some pending bills and all pending assurances that are to be examined by the Committee on Government Assurance do not last even in the post-dissolution period. So who dissolves the house? The president dissolves the house on the recommendation of the council of ministers headed by the prime minister. Okay, these are the bills and remember the article also. Okay, and voting in the house, if you talk about the voting of the bill shall be that is done. So the business of the parliament is carried on. All the bills and the other provisions are passed by a simple majority of the members present and voting. But as you know, there are certain kinds of changes or amendments which require special majority. We have discussed it. Okay. So the presiding officers regulates and seeks the answer from different members on this. So voting rights voting right is available to all members, but the speaker or the presiding officer of the house does not vote in the first instance by exercising a casting vote in case of. Okay, this is called sessions. Then language in parliament. Last we have to mention language in parliament. India being a multi-linguistic country, it is far more difficult to decide which language would be granted a nationwide status and which language would be a national language. So that is the things, but in the constitution it was provided the language that is language in parliament shall be English or Hindi, and that too. Okay, so according to the constitution, the language to be used in parliament should be either Hindi or English. But English was to discontinue as a language immediately after 15 years of the commencement of the constitution. So in a nutshell, we can say that English was going to be finished in 1965, but Official Secret Act 1963 extended the term of 1963, Official Language Act 1963 granted English as a medium along with Hindi. And the same is mentioned in. Okay, that is called language and through by official Okay, so that is called language in parliament, and it may be either Hindi or English, and the speaker can allow also any member speaking its recognized mother tongue, the translator, and it is translated into English and Hindi by the translators for the cognizance of the honorable members. Okay, that is called language. That so English is to continue as an alternative language. It continues as English is to continue as an alternative language to Hindi. So that was there. Adjournment. So in England also English was discontinued, but later it was enforced through Official Language Act 1963. That means it came into effect in 1965. Okay, so this is all about your language of the sessions. Okay, so that is also called Indian Parliament. So we have discussed sessions, prorogation, dissolution, adjournment. These are called sessions of Parliament. Okay, now we shall come to bills in Parliament. Another thing I forgot to tell you that there is another term called lame duck session. Lame duck sessions. Lame duck session is the you can say lame duck session is the last session of a particular Lok Sabha. There is a last session of particular Lok Sabha. Okay, so lack of lame duck session. It is the last session. It is the last session. It is the last session of Parliament. Lame duck session. And an interesting fact about this that that those members who are not elected to the next Lok Sabha, or they are defeated or do not contest the elections, they are called lame ducks. So there is another term, lame duck sessions and lame duck members. Okay. Okay. Then quorum. Quorum, I have told you, 1/10 of the quorum. 1/10. 1/10 of the total strength of the house. Then we shall discuss the. We have discussed the. Okay, so these are all called dissolutions. Then rights of ministers, rights of ministers. According to Article 88 of the Constitution, of the Constitution, the ministers and attorney general may participate in the debate and this deliberation of each house. But attorney general cannot vote anywhere because he is not a member. However, a minister can participate in the debate in the house in which they are not a member. So they can vote there. But they have a right to speak in other houses also. That is called rights of ministry under Article 88 of the Constitution. You can take a note of that. Okay, so this is all about your motions. Now we shall carry on with devices. I hope we have not started it. Devices of proceedings of Parliament. Let us examine what are the major part of the devices of Parliament. Means the method that regulate the proceedings of Parliament every day. The Parliament begins at question hour. 1 minute. Hello. Call. Okay. So devices. The Parliament begins its day at each house begins its day with question hour. The question hour. Question hours constitute a very significant parliamentary device, control device over the executive. The principle that the parliament controls the legislature is realized through the question hour. It is a very effective device to examine or to evaluate the functioning of the government and to criticize it or to make it responsible for any activities, omissions or commissions. So question hour begins from 11 a.m. till question hour. Beginning from 11 a.m. to 12. During this questions hour, there are several questions are asked by the members. There are also private members question when a member is put to question is raised to seek answers from a member. It is called a private member question. But most of the questions are raised or asked. Most of the questions were okay. So begins one. So the question hour is divided into three types of questions asked. One is start question. Start question means the question is divided with an asterisk mark. It is answered orally. I mean, the member has to speak, or the member has to say in words. And the question is whether it is answered orally and supplementary questions follows. A start question is answered with an oral or verbal interpretation, verbal answer. So other questions can be asked. Other questions can be asked to the members, to the concerned authority. That is why it is called start questions. So it is decided beforehand which would be the start question, which would be on start questions. Another is on start questions. It is a simple question which is not star marked. It requires a written answer. Okay, then unstart question, so it is It requires written answer. It's answered. It does not. Any others? This type of question is allowed after serving a few days notice. All the questions are noticed also. But in short notice, the period of notification is less in comparison with others. So in this short notice question, matters of public importance or great significance are discussed, and it is usually okay. So that is called short notice questions. Okay, that is called start, and short notice questions. These are called start questions, question or unstart questions. And I told you that the questions are directed against the government or directed at the government. They have to answer it, and all the questions are public questions, public questions, but there are certain which can be asked also. Okay. Now we shall come to the next process, agenda, or I mean regular business of the or okay. So during this hour, regular business of the house or pending bills, notices, and motions are discussed. So that is called agenda, and in between agenda and question hour, there is called 0 hour. So 0 hour, a gap between two sessions. Okay, 0 hour. It is a gap between question hour and agenda. It is an Indian innovations. It is an Indian innovation. It was started in 1962 by Jawaharlal Nehru to spend the rest time on valuable discussions. So it is a free hand information, and every member. Okay, okay. So we shall now come to the devices is over. Start and short notice question. So in addition to the matter, the question can also be asked to a private member. So when a question is asked to private member, it is called your uh, private members questions. So in devices, you have come to know about question hour, 0 hour, and agenda. That the regular business, I repeat this since it is one of the major or most viable instrument of parliamentary control over executive. But today the number of questions in the Indian Parliament is being reduced day by day, and no participation by the parliamentarians, because it is seen that most of the some important bills are passed without sufficient discussion and deliberation in the parliament. So implication the question our provisions is somewhat is weakened sometimes, but whatever may be, question hour is an integral part of parliament, and it exerts control over the executive to it. Now I shall come to the motions in parliament. Okay, what are motions? Motions are consent of the presiding officers. By the consent of the presiding officer, a proposal is moved in the House to discuss some important or urgent matters. The House may declare its rejection or acceptance of the motions. The members in a nutshell are moved by members to raise discussion on various matters. Okay. So there are kinds of motions. So you can remember motions are proposals. Moved. Motions are proposals moved in the House after the consent of the presiding officers. There are some motions which are put to vote at the end of the discussion. Its motion on various important matters. Okay. So what does the House do through the motion? It expresses its decision or opinion on various important matters through adoption of motions. Okay. A motion can be moved by either a private member or a minister. So private member can also move. There are on the basis of the content, direction of the motions, they can be divided into classifications. Fifth type one is substantive motion. I think it is a stand-alone motion. So substantive motion is a stand-alone motion. which can be discussed and put to vote if it is there. No need of further any motion to be added. Then another is substitute motion. Substitute motion is a motion that is introduced in substitution of an original motion for some correction or other things and proposes an alternative. So it is an alternative to the original motion. An alternative to original motion, or it supersedes the original motions. Number 3, subsidiary motions. Subsidiary motion is added to the main motion one by one. They are like supplementary motions. If one motion is added, then another motion may be added to that without changing the original motion or proceedings. That is called subsidiary, but substitute is in place of original, because in the absence of original motion, substitute motion will be worked. Okay. Now we shall move to different types of motion. First is closure motion. Closure motion is a motion which is moved and aimed at completing the task, completing the work. So there are different kinds of closure motion. Okay, in this motion, a member desires to cut short the debate on a particular bill or particular matter before the House. If the motion is approved by the House, debate is stopped for tweet and the matter are to put to vote. There are 4 kinds of closure motions. So when a member feels that sufficient discussion has been done and sufficient things lingering debate is going on a particular matter, then he may bring the motion before the parliament, before the speaker or before the presiding officer of his house, then can bring the closure. So there are different types of closure. One is simple closure motion. Simple closure means it is carried on moved at the end of complete so at the end of complete discussion. Simple closure is simple closure is allowed. There is nothing to do with that. Okay. Then closure by compartments. Compartment means what? Division. So a matter or a bill is divided into many compartments or parts. and the substantial discussion or important discussion, vital discussion on the part is carried on, and the part as a whole is put to vote. It is called closure by compartment. So each bill, you can say uh, each bill or clauses of a bill discussion discussion on a part is carried on, or you can say important provisions of a part is carried on and put to vote. Okay, that is called. So then kangaroo closure. In this case, the important part of a bill are discussed, not the whole part, and the towards the end, only important bills, discussed part and undiscussed parts are put to vote at the same time to adjust time and to things. Under this type, only important clauses are taken up for debates and voting, and the intervening clauses are skipped or the last taken as passed. So, if a bill has certain three aspects, only one, two, three aspects will be discussed as important, and after the discussion of those one, two, three provisions, the entire bill will be declared as passed. Okay, that is called kangaroo closure. Under this type, under this type, only important clauses only important clauses and the entire bill and the entire bill is put to vote. Then guillotine. Then guillotine is also a device. So you have the simple closure, change by compartment, kangaroo closure, and guillotine. GUILLOTIN, guillotine. Okay, okay. That is called closure motion. Then guillotine. Guillotine is a unique parliamentary device to deal with the pending matters. Towards the end of the session, all pending and discussed bills or any provisions or motions are put to vote at a time, and they are either passed or rejected. So all the all the pending bills whether discussed or undiscussed are passed by okay are passed by the legislature. All pending bills in a particular session, all pending bills, all pending motions, notices, they are all uh, they are all passed through one time voting. That is called your guillotine. So we can take a conclusion of these things here. So that motions are of four types. Closure motions are four types. Simple closure. Okay, so that is called closure motion. Okay, now solution move to the privilege motion. When there is a breach of BREACS, breach of, once I'm writing, when there is a breach of privilege. If a member feels that a minister, a minister has not given him or has committed breach of privilege of the members, one or more members. So privilege motion is brought, and its intention is to censure the minister concerned. Or if a minister has committed a breach by withholding facts of or case or by giving wrong or distorted information, then privilege motion is brought. It can be brought by a member. Its objective is to so it is a kind of breach of privilege, and any ministry member feels that the minister has withheld some fact or has provided false or distorted information in the house, then or is committed, is a victim of any, if a member is a victim of any breach of privilege or any indiscipline, then there is a privilege motion allowed. It is allowed by the speaker. Okay, so that is called privilege motion. Then call attention motion. Calling attention motion. So calling attention motions, in this motion, a member moves this motion to draw the attention of the minister towards any issue of grave concern, any issue of public importance, and to seek or to know the steps that know the steps and to authoritative statement, to receive authoritative statement from time to time on that matter. Like a zero hour, it is also an Indian innovation which started in 1954. That is called, so moved by Minister towards any case of minister towards the cause of any cause of public importance or grave concern for the nation. Okay, that is called calling attention motion, and this that is called calling attention. We have written also. It is an calling attention, and it was started. It was started in 1954. Okay, next is adjournment motion. It requires the support of so to be introduced. Started sorry. So it is to be introduced in any matter to be introduced, any matter to be discussed of higher public importance and very of national importance needs to be support of 50 members. As it interrupts the normal business of the house, it is regarded as an extraordinary device. So it is all of a sudden takes place, and that is why it is called an extraordinary devices. So Rajya Sabha and its passage, or you can say its successful, involves an element of censure against government, adjournment motion, It's like a censure motion against the government, hence it is not introduced in Rajya Sabha. First of all, Rajya Sabha does not match it. The discussion on adjournment motion should last for not less than 2 hours and 30 minutes. It is like a censure against the government. It is like a censure. It's not usually introduced in Rajya Sabha. There is no regulation, but adjournment is very much. It's to be introduced in Lok Sabha because it involves a censure against the government. Okay, all these things it is about adjournment motions. No confidence motion. No confidence motion is can be traced back to Article 75 of the Constitution. No confidence motion because Article 75 says the Council of Ministers agreed by the PM. Collectively responsible to they means the Council of Ministers led by the Prime Minister should be Confidence of confidence of the majority of the members of the Lok Sabha. That is most important. And to test whether NCM should have if it is passed, approved, Indira Gandhi. This is the things about NCM. And another notable thing about NCM is that the NCM can be moved twice a year maximum. NCM moved can be moved in twice a year. Okay, so these are the most notable things about the NCM. Likewise, there is also a confidence motion which is moved by the ruling party to prove its majority in the post coalition era. That sometimes the ruling party also is in doubt whether it has the support of the majority members. Hence, it wants to prove its majority. So, president also president also calls the government seat and to prove its majority. So that is called confidence motion. Confidence motion is used by the ruling party, but no confidence motion is used by the opposition party. And the confidence motion has the tendency to ensure that the government has the majority, because confidence motion is very being adopted as in the post coalition era, single party domination has been over. Many political parties are being elected to parliament, and they are securing considerable number of seats, but none of them secures a comfortable majority in the house. So there is always often a pre-poll alliance or post-poll alliance, so to say. Hence, as in the coalition era, the government or the ruling party or the prime minister has that he moves the confidence motion, the president calls upon the government to prove the majority, and hence the motion goes on, and the government of the day sometimes on its own seeks to prove the majority by moving a motion or confidence in writing the confidence of the house. If the confidence motion is a negative, it results in the fall of the government. So in case of LCM, that should be in a positive mode, and in case of CM, confidence motion, that should be negative voting. If it is negative voting, if the ruling party does not get a good number or the required number of votes to continue, then it will collapse. And in CM, if the NCM gets majority support in the house, in the Lok Sabha, the government has to resign. Okay, and both of them are directed against the government, and most of them are used to test or to have floor test of the strength of the government. So, in a parliamentary democracy, where the government rests upon the majority of support of the members of parliament, so it is always essential to ensure that whether the parliament or the ruling party has the confidence of the majority of members in the country or not. Okay, so we have come up to confidence motion, and there are a lot of motions we will discuss. There are other motions also, like censure motion and your motion of thanks, dilatory motion is there, and other things we shall discuss. Okay, now next we shall discuss the motions. Okay, so with this, let me conclude your class here. We'll be starting the class from that is, you can say, from censure motion. From censure motion. So next class we shall be starting. Next class we shall be starting censure motion. Okay. So till then, I bid you goodbye. Stay home, stay secure, and stay fit. Okay. Prepare well. We shall be around. Okay.